Show when you go. Pre-show go-go. Pre-show go-go. That's what I like to call pre-show go-go. And
No, that's where you're
quite
dancing.
frankly, that's how pre-show goes sometimes. Another week and another topic, another month, another, let's just say, this is a whole thing about new beginnings.
Another game in the bag.
New beginnings. But you should totally check out the old beginnings of what we had before. We have last month's episodes that we had Zombie Apocalypse, we did Disney World, we did, what else did we do? Lost Technology. We also did one more. There was one more in there. Inventions. There was 4 of them. I'm pretty sure there was only 4 of them last month.
I think so.
If not, we do have a whole archive of all those videos on both Facebook, if it stays up, and we also have it on Twitch, which is also in our videos, and you can go ahead and check out like the subcategory of just like September or August. We have all August ones set up too. Yeah, but we have a ton more. If you want backlog issues, you can go as just. It's gonna sound stupid. Go just search us on YouTube. It's like our cloud-like server where we hide all of our past archive videos.
They store it for us, so we don't have to pay someone to do it for us.
We somehow cannot get monetized on there, but we get monetized on every other platform that we're on. But the good thing about YouTube is that, like, hey, it's like an archive. You guys can go ahead and store this shit for me. So, yep. You play the system, and the system plays you sometimes.
You know.
Oh, man. I guess before we get into too much stuff, I'll play this from last week. I know I have it on our Facebook and stuff, but I'm going to do it anyways. Get the gang together and get ready for the horde. Zombie Army 4 is the 4th in a long line of games. Funny how I have not heard of the other 3. This game consists of 3 different modes: campaign, horde, and weekly events. Weekly events being like spicing up your campaign a little bit with a little special rules, all with the ability to play with up to 4 players. The amount of levels is almost staggering, with a ton to download to keep the fun running. There is a vast amount of characters and guns, and not to mention all the purchasable content. And there is a ton of downloadable content for this game. In this game, I bet you wouldn't have guessed it, you kill zombies. Working with a team and remembering to shoot for the head and stomp out the bodies will go a long way. With creative traps and unlockable perks, the gameplay comes alive. But it's not the only thing to focus on. They're searching for chests for unlockables and upgrades. It also gives us this sweet shot cam for you and your party. Headshot! Chapters are a little long, but reaching the safe room breaks up the chapters into 4 parts, where you get to upgrade your builds and just unwind after a long day of zombie killing. The game tracks your progress through your misadventures with a leveling system, breaking down all the things you do in your travels, from melee kills to keeping yourself from going down in a chapter. These things build your character's resistance and strengthen certain abilities. Even if you don't make it in your travels, there's always room in the horde. Just hope your friends understand. At least your old ones. Zombie Army 4, despite its predecessors, seems to be a gripping title. This game is a mashup of so many different games, like Left 4 Dead and Call of Duty Zombies. This is definitely worth playing if you love other zombie games. With a system that tracks and rewards you, game is inviting to come back to, even if I don't acknowledge the other 3. For Zombie Army 4 and more, visit us at twitch.tv/shopsclosed. That was fun.
That was a good game.
Yeah, good review. That's what I'm going to say. Oh. I'll take that off there again. I'm not sure if match wanted that happen or not. I don't know. We put match on there. I just wanted him to give me a signal or something, I guess. We're still pre-show, and we got like another fucking 10 minutes. Oh, he's right there.
Woo!
Yeah. Oh, Brian's talking now. Okay, cool. Hey, Matchin, I'm hoping I'm saying your name 100% correct. If not Matthews, I guess would probably be an easier way to do it. If you can hear us and all that stuff, you want to be put on, just give me a thumbs up. I don't know if you want to be in the pre-show chat, if you want to be brought in. Yeah. Okay, cool. Boop. Cool. You're on. Just letting you know we're live. We're just talking about pre-show stuff, which is not really anything.
Howdy and good evening. I'm a new fan. I was just introduced, so I'm so honored to be here today. So I don't know how the show rolls, but I'll try to roll with the bunches. Yeah, Machin here, nerd calling in from Texas.
We're pretty lax on most like formats, but we do like a little pre-show, so we get people to come in. We got like 15 minutes, so like 8:30 to 8:45. We're just gonna hang out, talk about nothingness. And then for this particular episode, I'm actually excited about. I don't want to get too much about the actual episode because I cut this pre-show and post-show out in our later stuff. But like I got some fun. I got some fun shit planned for the beginning to help catch everyone up on some stuff. I'm excited. I don't want to give it away. I don't want to give it away. Sorry.
It's a shoe.
We got a fucking amazing show tonight. I'm so excited.
Prove it.
We have
Prove
so much
it.
stuff that we've been.
Yeah, I'm here to ruin that. I'm here to prove you wrong.
Don't do it. Let you do it.
That's why I'm back. I'm back to ruin
Oh,
it.
God.
Try to prove it wrong with that.
And we got Brian back.
Oh, guys. You know what?
After a month is.
I got
it's
I
gonna
got
be a
it
good show.
again. It's real nice. It's real nice.
Yeah, you sound. Oh my God, he sounds like he's dying.
That's that good.
I got it. And he assimilated with the Borg. Is that? I think that's a Star Trek thing. Before we go too much further, I know I'm going to put these into the show a little bit later, but remember, we got our sponsors, which are TAVOUR, which is TAVOUR craft beer sent straight to your door. It's pretty awesome. You can go ahead and download it on Apple or Google Play. Use the promo code ShopsClosed, get $10 after spending $25. We had some peanut butter, which was a Skippy peanut butter based beer that we got at like a month and a half ago. It wasn't even that long ago. I still have some in my fridge because I bought a lot of it. But
That's
it
the
is
most
awesome.
peanut buttery tasty peanut butter beer I've ever had. I've had like 3 peanut butter
Let's
beers.
just say it's a filter.
Okay, it's a filter. Okay.
I'm sorry, what's the problem?
I like how he's like, what's the problem? Nothing's the problem, sir. Nothing's the problem.
Nothing, you're totally
Nothing.
fine.
And as long as you don't start saying human, I think we'll be fine. I also want to take this chance to say, hey, Strange Famous Records, a big shout out and thank you for letting us use your music for like our intro, outro, and stuff like that. Go ahead and check them out at strangefamousrecords.com for music, merch, and more. That's an understatement. They actually just got Prolific just dropped a new album. They got a new artist on their label. Like it's an exciting time for Strange Famous Records. Go check them out at strangefamousrecords.com or follow them on Instagram or Facebook. So I got that in there. 30 seconds. I'm getting pretty good at this. It's like I practice when I'm sleeping.
I'm impressed.
I practice when I'm sleeping, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You can also remember to follow us on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/shopsclosed. Today's actually going to be a sub giveaway. So if you are actually in the crowd watching today, we are going to be giving away a sub, at least 2 subs for this here month. So you can watch every episode without ever having any worry about watching any pesky advertisements or anything like that. And you also get some pretty cool emotes. We got Gibby with the sunglasses. Pretty fun. And I can't go very much further along without saying you should definitely go to shopsclosed.live. That's a web address. Yeah. Where you can buy merch and or you can help out the show by donating. We do accept PayPal, Visa, and other things. Maybe even Bitcoin, you know what I mean? Stop it, Bronson.
What?
Stop it. He's poking me again.
Right?
I told him to stop
Keep
poking
doing
me.
it, Bronson. Keep poking
Come on, do it.
harder.
Don't listen to the Robot Lord.
Poke him harder.
You listen to your Lord and Savior.
God damn it. Hold on.
Oh my God, Brian. I don't know if
Brian.
I don't know if you have like a microphone plugged into that bastard, but you should definitely unplug it and plug it back in.
Okay, is this better?
Oh my God, yes.
Okay.
Like you don't sound like a muffled robot. Yes.
Gotta get back to
Yeah, I'm glad this is all getting taken. This is another reason for a pre-show, by the way.
one of
Speaking
my
of pre-shows, we
heard 'em?
have a show that happens every Monday. Not just this Monday, not just next Monday, not just the Monday after that. For every perceivable Monday, we have 3 different places that we can go live. So if one of these 3 go down, they're not all owned by the same person at least. So we got a chance. We'll be live at 8:30 p.m. Central on one of these things.
We got an egg in every basket.
So make sure you go ahead and follow us on whatever one you like to use. And like I said, every freaking Monday. Like I don't think we've missed a Monday in almost a year. It's been almost a year.
There was even times when you weren't here and I had to be here.
I think our shows had almost perfect attendance.
Yeah. I haven't missed one.
Well,
And I have not received my reward yet.
Where's my plaque or
Yeah.
play sign?
I'm sorry, guys.
Pete rocks.
So,
Damn it,
ordered it.
Brian is back.
Fan outrage.
Oh, nerd life. Yeah, baby. Oh, that's you on there. Hey.
oh shit.
Yeah, I had to figure out how to get following you guys, like get in the right place to be getting in this. Like you guys are killing it. I love this this whole vibe you guys got. So I'm just gonna try to keep up and bring the energy. You guys are outrageous.
Yeah, man, this is gonna be fun. A lot of our show is just like free form talking. Like you'll have a lot of time to express what you want to talk about, and people will talk about how they feel about stuff. It's pretty excellent.
I've had a lot of experience with that, but it's usually just me
Yeah.
talking to me. So this is a lot funner.
Oh, awesome. I'm glad that you're here to join us, by the way. I'm going to get really into actually explaining or giving you an introduction actually in the show, by the way. Don't think that I'm just brushing it up. Yeah, and this guy's here with us, too. But yeah, we're here.
I'm nobody, man. I'm just somebody who likes Bitcoin, you know?
There's nobody like somebody, I guess. Isn't that the famous Andy
Something
Rooney?
like that. I'd rather not know anything than think I know. Oh, is that? It probably is. I should know this.
I don't know. I'm just making shit up. I'm sorry. The Andy Rooney. No one. Who's quoting Andy Rooney at this time in their life?
Looks like we got some sort of comedian
I don't even
here.
think Andy Rooney would be. I don't even think he's still around. I'll have to Google that someday.
I think he died because they didn't have that Pharaoh stone anymore, so they couldn't get. You remember from the?
You've been catching up on your DC stuff.
Yep.
That's pretty awesome. I'm pretty proud of you.
They died at the museum. They were immortal. Remember, guys? I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's the famous Raj Al Ghul kept alive, I guess.
I didn't write it.
I didn't write it. I just read it. That's what I'm saying. Oh, holy crap! It is almost time to start this show, which means that obviously we have to put up this because if we don't, and this is a new little. I should have actually put at the beginning. Why don't you go ahead and comment every time there's something new that you see on the show from this week?
You get a point for each time
You get a
correct.
point for it. Brian already got 2 points somehow, and he didn't
I
even. He got 3 wrong.
But then he also lied on the third
Yeah.
one.
So
I did lie. Yep, I messed that one up.
in the podcast community, people go all over the world gathering knowledge and entertainment. The opinions and topics on this show are considered especially heinous. Heinous. In the Midwest, the group is here to give you these outrageous and ridiculous takes at the world at large. This elite. What is called? These are their topics.
No beach, no speedo, no seagull, casino night player, no dice, no keno, no whammy. Better beware the cooler. I think that it's time to introduce the sharks and hustlers to the big bad barracuda. Fuck it, there ain't no time for waiting. Fuck it, there ain't no hibernating. Swine isn't allowed inside of a site. Fuck it, fry the bacon. This little piggy's gonna get smoked like a ciggy. The city is so lit up, I promise, kid, it ain't nothing pretty. They going ham, yeah, they going ham, but they can't gamble responsibly, so they flash the pot whenever I show my hand. Fuck it, ain't no slow rolling. Fuck it, I already told Dolan. When I'm done this mission, I'm taking.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Shopsclosedpodcast where we talk about, I believe, stuff.
Things.
things and stuff. I like how Brian's like hiding in there, and we got some people actually on my left. I think it's over here. We had to actually have some people here on the show today. We have a lot of fun thing, as you can see right below us. It's cryptocurrency is the thing that we're talking about today, and I feel like I'm almost, and this doesn't happen that often, is that I feel like I'm almost overstimulated on a topic, but I know that we normally have these, and I already spoiled it for you. But I guess before I spoil that any further, hi Bronson.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, and we got Brian over there who's trying to be. Who is that?
I don't know.
I'm just showing you. I told you I was gonna talk about this album today.
It's
Is that Prolific's new album?
Yeah, it's
It's very shiny against there.
Please Hammer Don't Hurt Him. I mean, we all album, and I just wanted to make sure that people give it
I'm
a
glad
listen.
that you have that album still. You're really aging yourself. Brian, welcome back to the show. And Matchin, right? Matchin Matthews. I'm saying that 100% correct.
Yeah, totally. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know how you're supposed to pronounce it, to be honest.
You have no idea how bad I can botch names, though. So like, it's
Pretty
actually
hard.
good.
Yeah.
I think the word in German, Mädchen, how I pronounce it, means little girl. So I'm really happy about that.
Yeah. Hey, you know
It's
what?
been a great experience.
If you grew up in a very German like place, maybe people would be like, oh, but like I think normal people would be like, meh, this is a different.
Well, I'm calling in today. This is my home office down by New Braunfels, Texas.
Oh, ooh.
So yeah, it's a little German here,
Yeah, a little
but
German.
all good.
Aren't we all kind of
Boy
a little
named
German?
Sue.
We got fest over here in Jefferson and stuff for all that. We got a good community.
We're in Wisconsin, so it's a lot of Germans.
Pretty much all.
Yeah, mostly Germans. Anyways, before I go any further, I know I already said the topic, but we always have one of these. So here we go. Yeah, I know. We always try to have like a little fun with our intros.
Yeah.
Who made that part of the video? Where
I did. I made that whole one. That one me.
I did last month. He's doing this.
Yeah,
month.
I'm doing this month. He got last month's. They're not incredibly great, but they're all right, right? I'll tell you what's really great though. Before we get too far into this cryptocurrency, I want to catch everyone up, including like you guys over here and you guys out there. I got something that the brainchild of Bronson and I that we found in an old crate. So we set up this.
Films, real old.
So it's a real old film. Check this out.
The history of currency, currency. The world has had some kind of need for it for some time now, but it wasn't always so simple, or was it? It all started in the age of human. Not everyone can kill and skin one of these suckers. So from it came meat and goods to trade for other goods. These made people gather and settle in areas, and cultures blossomed into this. Leaders and kings alike seen the benefits of having more than others. By having the most livestock, the best crops and yield. But it was hard to set up trades to their lands with a common item. After a few attempts of common barter items, they decided to make coins out of rare metals, and coin money was born. After going around and finding other cultures, leaders and kings alike would start to realize something. Coin money is extremely heavy. Well, at least for types of transactions going on. So the IOU came into play. Goods and services soon became more abundant. These IOUs became a common trade for services and goods. The leaders and kings alike wanted to keep power over their people and regulate their economy. So paper money became a thing. And a lot of cultures grew immensely. During this time, others didn't have the resources to back up their newfound money. Those of which we will not speak of. Soon, banking became a thing where people would manage your money. Not only would they do that, but they would also loan money out to other people for interest, which would help business and people alike, growing some to new heights, bringing a bigger bill to pay. Soon the world would no longer depend on gold or anything of that sort to define their money. With technology growing, the world changing, soon came the internet. As for the future, who knows, could be something new and exciting, or eternally damning. Only time will tell.
Brought to you by the people who don't factor. Gripping.
Educational.
That's
Amazing.
stunning. That was amazing. That was incredible. That's exactly right. And we could all be damned.
We could have. I don't know. We just thought that it'd be easier to catch everyone up on like the basic basis of like currency because cryptocurrency is something all on its own and it's its own beast. And we made light of the whole situation of how it grew like from, and that's actually a pretty short version of that entire chain because this is like thousands of years, hundreds of thousands. I want to say millions. I want to say 15 million, but I know I'm wrong.
I usually start the story about 2.5 billion years ago with two giant, super, sized stars crashing inwards towards each other into a supernova explosion, creating heavy metals, then depositing into Earth, where then we started having like trade and go into that story. We forgot the part about the puka shell, right?
Yeah,
and like,
well,
that,
we did do like a thing where we had like I wanted to wear a hookah shell necklace and make light of that too, and just be like, dude, I'm pretty rich. You better watch yourself around me.
I'll trade you some Bitcoin. Like, I don't know how it works exactly, the puka, but that's how Bitcoin works. You trade something you want for it.
But that's literally how like the barter system started off, and that's how that's pretty much what I was trying to get around. Because I know Brian's a little bit skeptical on the whole the crypto thing, and like I'm not 100% on board because I don't know everything about it. Because
yeah, there's actually like typologies that we all have. Like in history, you go down to like Socrates, is like, oh, there's these 4 types, and there's like color types, and there's like the lion, and all this. My type is knowledge. Like, I have to know everything before I'll proceed. So if somebody wants me to get like a new podcasting software, like a new mic or something like that, I'm like researching where do they get their metals from. Like, I gotta understand. And it's the worst place. Like, I come from like a sales background, and like I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a business owner, that sort of thing. And so people go, well, when do you think you're gonna make this purchase or whatever? I'll go like 4. Like, for what? I'm like, forever. I gotta know absolutely every freaking thing before I can take action on something. And there's other people that are like just straight action type. I have a partner that's like that didn't understand crypto and just like got into it.
Yeah.
And I used to spin toys. Is that me in the background that we have? Like spinning lights? Like someone's like spinning glow sticks behind us.
Nope, that's the background. I'm sorry, is that distracting? I can change it.
No, I love it. I thought it was like maybe it was me.
Put up the one that's pass.
I can change it, but
yeah,
I just figured this is.
Teasing. I didn't mean to be distracted.
No, you're good, man. You're good, man. Okay, so I guess since you're our guest, and I want to make sure that you feel like you're welcome and you're able to like put on, but I also want to put you on the spot.
Don't welcome me, beat me up. I don't care. I'm here. I'm not here to defend Bitcoin, but I got a story to tell. I'm happy to share it with you.
I actually was going to say,
yeah.
You tell us how did you, first of all, how did you get into Bitcoin?
Exactly. What is your
like cryptocurrency? Because Bitcoin is a weird.
That's a
like,
specific
thing that
I don't-
that people put it all into. People, when most people say Bitcoin, I find they're talking about cryptocurrency.
cryptocurrency in
They
general.
don't understand that they're not the same. Like Bitcoin's just one entity,
Yeah.
and people don't understand that a lot. But yeah, tell us
Yeah.
what got you into cryptocurrency.
I'll share a little about that. I heard a few questions, and one of those was like, is it Bitcoin that you're into, or what is your main cryptocurrency? And I think if I was to ask myself that question, or if you were to ask anybody I spend time with on a daily basis, they're going to say Bitcoin all day. Now, Bitcoin is the original, and I'll tell you why I really got into it, really turned me on, like got my whole life into that situation of being one of these people that like checks out what's up in crypto every minute of every day. But really in the crypto world, there's this ecosystem, and we talk about like all ships rise with the tide. And so we see things like markets, and we would all rush to the village to like trade our coins for the veggies coming in town, and supply and demand would drive prices and all that. That's exactly how exchanges work in cryptocurrency. So Bitcoin and crypto is only worth what someone's willing to trade for. That's it. I've said that since I got in like hardcore in 2012, 100% in 2014. The way that I got into it is, long story short, I grew up in Texas, took off all over the country, took off from home like 13, ran around the country. In my 20s, I said, I'm gonna like go to California because I've never seen a whale or like touch the Pacific Ocean. Even though I went to Seattle and like lived in Seattle, I've never seen any of this stuff. So I'm heading that way, and everything that could go wrong happens. And then crypto at this time, I stop about Colorado because there's a new craze in Colorado that's taking the world by storm, where maybe you don't have to have a job, you can just burn all day is what I thought. And so I went and just bummed it up in Colorado on my way to California and never made it. And then in, I would say like August or so this time, it was getting cold in Colorado, and I was going to the shelters. I was just poor. Like I took off, and I made tons of money in real estate. I've done all sorts of stuff, but I had a bad habit of drinking and partying, and didn't really have any goals, didn't really know what I was doing. And so I found myself with like no goals. I'd broken up with the last girlfriend. It had been I was just on a couple of years. I was just on a travel the world. I was gonna figure it out, right? I was gonna figure out why I didn't fit in, like where I was supposed to be. And all this time before, I'd worked on computers, I'd worked in data centers, I was a nerd, I love encryption, that sort of thing. And someone had sent me this information about Bitcoin. I worked in a data center up until 2010. 2010, I left the data center for like two or 3 years while I was doing this sabbatical. If you look in hindsight, really, I was just being a total bum. I took the money I had, and I didn't want to have a job. I just wanted to like take my laptop and a guitar and not talk to anybody because everybody was stupid and I was angry and I didn't know where I fit in. And my dad calls, and he calls a friend who's visiting from the town that he's in. They're at a concert. I run into these people, and they tell him, hey, we saw your son. So he calls their phone, and he's like, hey, I got to talk to you. You know, they shut down poker in the U.S. And my dad's a professional poker player online. And so I grew up, playing for Skittles and, just always playing poker my whole life, and being a nerd and a developer and web designer and all that, and I'm working in data center, just having a full around comprehension of, what it takes to produce. He asked, do you think we could build a casino online for this Bitcoin stuff? Your friend Travis, we call him Leaf Ninja, but Travis came over and he told me about this stuff called Bitcoin. And at that time, my friend from the data center had sent me like many thousands of Bitcoin to check it out. At this time, you could grab a laptop, which I promptly did, got online, got a wallet established, moved some coin from this private key into a cryptocurrency wallet, which I can explain that stuff a little bit more in depth to give it some story, but I don't want to get too off topic right away. But long story short, which I'm incapable of doing, you just have to cut me off.
You're good, man. You keep doing it. Go. I'm enjoying this.
You have the floor.
Yeah, you have the floor, man. Take your time.
So at this point I go, yeah, we can build that. We got to look at some software. There's software out there already to build cards, to run random number generators. There's casino software out there on the planet that exists. Let's build it. So we got together with another friend, and without saying too much, because I don't know where I can cross too many lines here, and like at a certain point, what we were doing then became not cool now. You can't just do the same things that we were doing then, which is just running poker rooms and casinos online.
They've had a lot more restrictions on online gambling and stuff like that as well.
It's not just the gambling; it's more the connotation of whether or not you're doing something that circumvents a rule or doesn't. Right? There's an exception pretty much to every rule. The rule is if this is deemed some sort of asset or tangible good, then you're gambling, right? But if it's
take a tax out of it, basically. If you're gonna gamble with it on there, there has to be a way for the government to take a cut, or they're just gonna make it illegal. Like
that's why poker actually got shut down.
Yeah.
Is companies like Full Tilt Poker, they were going online, they were selling ping pong balls. I would go get my check from the poker site, and you would get it from, I always say, like some crazy name in the Philippines, you know, like I can't pronounce it. They're like sadong. It's like really nice and long, lots of syllables, and like you're transferring money at like Western Union for tens of thousands of dollars to some random dude overseas, or picking up a check at Western Union from some random dude overseas. And Full Tilt and Poker Stars, all these. I guess Poker Stars wasn't really in that, but there was a bunch of them. UB, all these other guys got caught up in it because they were just like, oh, we're selling ping pong balls, and that's what they were marking this stuff up. And the man wasn't getting the cut. When we came into the game, in the crypto world, in the poker world, in the casino world, we started with something called Satoshi Poker, the brand back then, and it's no longer, or else I wouldn't even bring it up. I'm not here to pitch anything, but when we got rid of that, we really transferred into a more broad casino side, and from there, doing the casino side and having the background I had, I built web hosting programs and software and licenses and applications and put them into the crypto world. And since then, I've gone on to share, like, there's all sorts of ways to approach risk. Gamblers jumped into cryptocurrency fast because we could play poker, get paid. Sure, that's great.
Yeah, but it's also like an investment on an investment.
It started to be mind-blowing.
Yeah.
You have $100 and you're playing poker for, and you wake up and it's $300 you're playing poker for.
Yeah.
In the early days, because we went from 20 to 60 like that, and then 60 to 300 like that. And I sold a couple Bitcoin for rent, like, oh, I'm gonna rent a new place. And buddies are selling Bitcoin. Oh, we're gonna buy stuff, and it jumps to 1,100, and we felt so stupid.
Yeah.
A week later, it's $42, right? So I don't look at the price of Bitcoin. I don't look at the price of cryptocurrency, and I love skeptics, because if you're not a skeptic, this ain't the right game for you. If you're a gambler, you missed the wave. Yeah. You know, get the skeptics. We need people that can really comprehend it.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people have been in cryptocurrency a decade. It's probably a couple 100,000. You know what I mean? It's a very small community. You look at the NFT market that was like 15 billion last month. It's 50,000 people actively trading.
Jesus.
Think of that. It's early.
Yeah.
We're so early.
Super early for it.
Oh, but that can tell us a lot about crypto. I mean, that's just part of the story. I mean, it goes on and on.
Hey, thank you very much for sharing that part of that story, man. So cryptocurrency, like we were saying when he was talking about it, is pretty much like an investment on an investment, because I believe, and anyone correct me if I'm wrong, you're pretty much buying like a sale or like a piece of an asset that's mined out of like a code that gets put into.
To keep from being arbitrary, can we talk about Bitcoin in this case, and then maybe shift the conversation to something like Ethereum, Litecoin, Dogecoin, whatever?
Yes, please.
So
easiest to explain, yeah.
It's not just that; it's just that it might be arbitrary, right? Like, so Bitcoin's a completely deflationary currency, where essentially what's happening. I tell the story of telling the story of money starting way back then, because Bitcoin's essentially a digital simulation of gold, but easier to carry in a briefcase, in my opinion, right? You just know this privacy.
When I was like watching it, I was like, that's why I said I feel like overstimulated from like my research for this, because like it feels like it's just history repeating.
Yeah,
it's
all it feels like. Just want to say, like, what's funny to me too, like with Bitcoin, is the way I feel about it. Like, it is exactly like when we start trading gold as like a value, which in a way, when you're trading that, you're trading the excess labor value that's going around, really what we're creating with products that are going out and stuff. So like, is really no different than like a shiny rock. It's like the new shiny rock.
It is.
Like looking at it, and
But your paper,
You are one.
really aggressively against it, but at this point, I just want to learn more about it.
Now I have a challenge. He said aggressively against it. I'm
was.
going to either convert you, or you are going to come look. You're going to come looking for me to take me down. Like you're going to hate me because I am relentless in my passion for how we're changing the world with cryptocurrency.
Yeah, it's I do find like I do have a major problem with mining, which is the amount of energy that it takes to actually do it. That is
that is a pretty crazy thing. And
the one thing that it doesn't matter to me that it has a value, honestly. And see that again, it comes like super aggressively against it because I just feel, we're wasting. It's just like mining gold. Like it's the same kind of waste of energy that doesn't have to happen in order for it. Again,
I think that's an intrinsic value exchange, that it's worth the
right.
amount of work it takes to get out. So it actually has some.
Can I just at least crap on your point?
Yeah.
And show myself in the mining data center here. I'm not trying to be a total turd, but the idea that these machines here, which are there's no doubt the ridiculous power consumption, are not providing a greater value to humanity in the future than the existing system is the real argument. So I'm looking for solutions, and those solutions will exist. I'm a big believer in coming from the unknown. There is so much better in what we don't know than what we do know. But sticking strictly to cryptocurrency, if you'll give me the floor for like 2 minutes, I'll break something down that I hope. Okay, so I would love to share this for cryptocurrency. We start back where it's a digital simulation of gold, where there's finite and precious. Precious meaning it can be destroyed. Originally, there's a total of 21 million Bitcoin. It's actually 20,999,999.999999999. So I might add 129. I hope somebody calls me on it. But the point is, in the first 3 or 4 years, we destroyed about 5 million of them accidentally. We go, let me take I don't know. I'm gonna test this app. What do you think I should put in? 100 Bitcoin? Yeah. Oh, they're gone. Oh well. All right. Let me. It was about 4 cents. Let me try something else. Oh, it did it again. When I started the casino, 100 Bitcoin free roll poker tournament. Hey guys, come sit down, listen to the podcast, check out my thing. All you gotta do, come play poker, right? And that's what I would do. I draw traffic. I throw free roll tournaments to draw traffic back to the casino. 100 Bitcoin. What is that today, guys? Any clue? Bitcoin trading closely to $45,000.
Wait, what was that?
$45,000 a pop.
Oh man!
Bitcoin's trading close to $45,000 a pop right now.
Whew.
Right, every single day. This is before I had kids, so I would invest in these machines. I would invest in this future. I was so depressed. I laid on the curb, homeless, while the shelter would call other people's numbers. I wouldn't even take a number because it's women and children that are trying to get into the shelter. I was raised better than that. Like, figure it out, dude. You got here because you wanted to drink whiskey. Figure it out. And I was depressed. I would lay on the curb and I would spin around the earth, and I'd feel the gravity of the earth. And I would think about the stars and space and the expanse of the universe, and I would probably eat some more mushrooms. And then I would think about how big the universe is again. And it was depressing. It was overwhelming. And people would go, dude, you're smart. You should do something great. You should do something awesome. And I didn't know what it was that I would do. And when cryptocurrency came around, this one byproduct of cryptocurrency, which is the defeat of the actual thing that makes it so amazing, the ability to defeat the double spend. It's called the double spend problem in economics, but it's how do you know that, well, we invented puka shells, right? So you would know that so-and-so traded only as much as they said they had. Banks gave you social security numbers and accounts to associate that funny money that they print, just like monopoly money. You know, the banks never run out of money. They print a little bit more. And we usually do that at, okay, I'm getting political here, but I was going to say at other people's and other nations' resources expense. And so when we look at agreements that we've made, something that Bitcoin does as a byproduct is make, in fixing that economic problem, it creates a byproduct of immutable data. It creates a chain of data that can never be altered. And so you guys know the word blockchain, right? And we know about mining. And so mining has a target time. It gets adjusted every couple of weeks to be about 10 minutes target, so that every transaction that happens can be solved within about 10 minutes, meaning I can not have to trust you. I can verify that the Bitcoin exists. I don't have to trust you. I can verify that you are the deed owner, the title owner, or some other message carried along that immutable data. So when I was laying on the ground and I felt so depressed, and I looked at the sky and I realized how infinitesimally small little blue dot, right, Carl Sagan style, where I was, that's when Bitcoin all hit for me. It was just like, man, here's our chance. Let's build this. And what we're creating now, this podcast goes into the ether, other than, YouTube stores it for us. But we put this out into the mics, and YouTube explodes, the server's destroyed, data is gone. That's one of the concepts that's possible, essentially. In a blockchain, you have a series of public ledgers. Everyone holding a wallet, a complete wallet, holds the entire series of this public ledger. So instead of it being anonymous, which is ridiculous, it's super traceable. It's account driven. It's Bob sends Bronson 10 Bitcoin. Bronson sends Machen 5 Bitcoin. Well, the way that really works, in like our current system, we have our ID, our birth certificate, and like social security card to prove who we say we are, to prove that we can verify data. Even the act of showing those objects compromises them, right? Like, catch me if you can. I saw it. Now I can recreate all that data. What Bitcoin does is it has a private key. Your private key gets sent through a hash. And I always talk about like Gumby, SHA-256 encryption is like Gumby. You take a cube, you put some of y'all are probably not old enough for this.
I kind of understand it.
You're good.
Gumby was like play a character.
I know, but you're aging yourself a little bit, by the way, by saying.
I'm only 34, but I grew up with like Nick at Night and like no cable.
We're the same age. I'm putting a wink in.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
We're pretty close to the same age. I know what Gumby is, but Gumby was like like for all those people out there, was like a claymation animated hero that would just turn into anything. He could turn into anything, like with his friends. I think it was Pokey, Prickle, and Goo.
Yeah, Pokey.
Oh my gosh, you're a fan. You're a fan.
I'm just a weird kid who had a lot of weird memories. Anyways, keep going.
So he can goo his way through anything, right? He can go through the bars in the gate, etc. So you just take this Gumby cube, this play cube, and you put it through a screen, and you get this series of rectangles, right? You take that, and you turn it, and you get a series of squares. Now you have this big cube with a whole bunch of squares. This is essentially SHA-256 encryption's beginning. You chop up data. You start to rearrange this data by taking one of these blocks and putting it at the bottom and moving it up, so you still have your cube. Then you rotate the cube, you slide another piece, now you slide a whole column. This is SHA-256 encryption, essentially taking, rotating, and moving.
Isn't that kind of it kind of reminds me of like a hard drive, like how like a classic hard drive would pick data out?
Defragment data, yes.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting concept. I love the analogy side. So the idea that we essentially can take this SHA-256 encryption and make it so difficult that it requires miners, and there's a massive amount of energy in order to solve it. So when there was 3 miners, there's not enough difficulty on the chain to trigger a block. We couldn't even trigger enough encryption to not be able to defeat it with a pen and paper. And so it took years in the beginning of cryptocurrency, in the beginning of Bitcoin, essentially, until 2011 for us to really pick up on the network, for us to really begin to trigger transactions. And we probably heard the story of Laszlo, right? Laszlo, the pizza guy, 10,000 Bitcoin pizza.
Yeah.
So that story, right? He bought 2 pizzas. He said, hey, we're on the stream. I'm starving. You don't think Bitcoin works? Like, you send me pizza. Here's my address. I'll send you Bitcoin. Let me show you how it works. And I was super inspired by that. I was like, oh my gosh, I have a business. I'm going to CVS. I'm buying all the debit cards, all the gift cards in town, everywhere, and I'm trading them. All the e-debit cards, which this is why I said I don't know what I actually exactly say, but statute of limitations is all up on whatever it was. Yeah. Like, I'm marked as like, if I try to get a bank or whatever, they're like, oh, you're marked in this system for money laundering and stuff like that. Now, in my defense, totally cleared. Absolutely didn't do anything wrong. It was the fact that we're buying 5,000 of these gift cards, 5,000. So we got flagged with all the the drug dealers and gangs
Like
and all
those
that kind of stuff.
Or those
the
like
scammers.
Yeah, those online
The
scammers.
scammers.
Like, oh, the police are after you. Give us gift cards.
I know you're in the middle of a story, but I actually have something interesting that happened to me this week that actually involved a scammer that I think is kind of prudent to the story. Not really, but I'm going to say it anyways. I recently was on Facebook and I had like an ad, and I was just like, it seems kind of sketchy, but like it's only a little bit of money, and it was for like a pallet of electronics, and the whole time I'm thinking like, this seems too good. It's a scam, and like I still did it, and I was like, oh well, what if it's not? What if it's not?
Maybe.
And I'm weird. I don't trust banks. I don't use banks. I don't use all this stuff. I have weird, like, that's why I'm thinking cryptocurrency might be my next move, to be honest with you. But like I bought this stuff, and then it came back to me, and I got a package that was knee plaster made out of from China, made out of scorpions
And centipedes.
and a pretty sweet selfie stick.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. I'm so sorry. I know it wasn't prudent to your story, and I totally
No, it really is. It
thought.
really is. No, it really is, because you mentioned something there where you saw something and you knew it and you did it anyway.
Yeah.
I did that my whole life, and I grew up playing poker. So in poker, lots of people play poker around the world. You guys ever play poker?
Oh yeah.
So you know what it's like. You're like, oh, you got aces. Raise.
Yeah.
Raise, re-raise, call, raise, re-raise, all in. There's no way he's got me beat. Okay, but now there's 2 queens on the board, and you've called this all in. It doesn't take much to have you beat.
Fuck.
And then eventually, yeah, you get beat and you go, shit, I never even saw the set. I never even saw the 3 queens on the board. And that it just never occurred to me that I was beat. I had aces. How could I be beat? And then it gets to a point in the poker career where you go, I say career, like I'm a total noob. But I felt this in experience, and I analogize it to life all the time. But it was like, oh, man, I'm probably going to lose this hand. Last time, he only calls me when he had me beat. I'm going to re-raise him. And I'm going to call him. And you lose. And you're out. And it's over. And your tournament life's over. The game's over. You lost your bankroll, whatever. And then something else shifts. And it's called, my dad would say, learn to duck. It's like, you go, oh, I got aces, and I got a stack. I can keep my stack with 0 risk like this. Just fold that hand.
Yeah.
Now, we have to have a little bit of experience and bravery and guts to know when to hold them, when to fold them. I think that's the fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Maybe.
Yeah, we both mentioned it like we knew.
Right?
Under our breath.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I should know. Willie Nelson's like a Texas guy. All right. So all that being said, I approached the crypto market in the same way. My friend showed it to me, and I went, I've seen e-money, I've seen e-cash, I've built online store, I've been in e-commerce since I was like 12 years old. Cool. Only thing I think is interesting about this is the encryption side. Really cool encryption. So that story that I was talking about, FHA 256 encryption, what it does is it actually made it interesting enough for us to go, okay, well, what's really happening here and triggering all that difficulty in the blockchain is you're taking your private key and you're pushing it through this like Gumby-like system. You're actually taking your wallet address, your private key gets pushed through a hash and generates a public wallet address. These are the long series of numbers where you typically send and transact with cryptocurrency. Those addresses themselves, when they sign a message, when they transact, there's enough data there in this hash for all the machines around the world to look at that and go, you take the first part, you take the second part, you take the third part, you take the fourth part, it's just a little, okay, now we'll all try to solve a little piece of it. Okay, hey, I got this little part. Let's try to put all the little parts together. Did we get the right answer? Yes. And the block returns a reward if you're the first to solve that block. That's how mining works in cryptocurrency. So all that activity, when I realized, okay, gut, okay, I'm not getting in this scam. I've seen all this stuff online, so I'm curious about the technology, so I'll look into this. Now I got to understand it. What's the encryption? How does it work? Why aren't more people using it? Why is there skeptics, right? But I had a little bit of a head up from, I suppose, the everyday average person because there's a newsletter. That's the Cypherpunks newsletter. If you guys have never heard of it, I guess I'd be a poser for telling you about it, but go check it out. It's a beautiful thing that I learned about. It probably started like in the 60s, 70s. But I learned about it when I was in like 3rd grade, and I was up trying to prove my teacher wrong, and I was like reading this paper called the Hacker's Manifesto, and it was like we've been spoon-fed and pre-chewed tasteless information when we hungered for state. You call us criminals when all we hunger for is information. Yeah. And it just changed my whole mindset on like life, and it's why I wound up homeless, because I wanted to be right instead of happy.
Yeah, sometimes you have to learn that lesson, though, is like the thing. It's like you don't think about it at the time, but there's been times in my life that like I've definitely done something that I felt like, oh man, this is the worst thing ever, and then like later on you're like, man, if that wouldn't have happened, like think about how different life would have been. Think about where you are now, and always think about like how happy you are about how it could have been so much different and so much worse.
I had kids, and that's when it all changed. It's a cliche, but I went, man, the government's lying, the world's lying. I'm way too smart for this horrible place. People are mean. People are just terrible. Like, I was a nerd growing up, so, you see some of the worst sides of people. And it's like, why? And I was an alcoholic, so I was a terrible person. I was Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, whatever.
Yeah.
That was
we
written on
alcohol. We all have our past and our beasts that happen. So cryptocurrency, like I like the idea that you're telling us about like the block. I some of the stuff I didn't fully understand. I'm glad that I got a little bit of clarity with it. I think
this is where it gets really beautiful too.
Ooh.
So when you have immutable data, you can do anything with it. What if, it's totally cool that we stole land from the Indians, and it's totally cool that we go back on our word, and that, no, it's not. That's not cool. And one amazing way to solve that. Yeah, come on, man. That's just not right. I don't know. I wasn't there. But we talk about everything, right? Here we are with a funny cliche that is Bitcoin solves that. And that's because this immutable data side, you can do something like, you guys run a website? I saw that website, right? Okay, so, or DNS servers, we saw Facebook go down today. Bitcoin solved it. No joke. Okay.
I think we didn't even I didn't even touch that. I didn't even touch that yet today. I figured that should have been touched.
Oh yeah, well.
I was hoping.
I love you guys for not. Yes, we were so excited. I'm sorry for hating it.
No, I was like, please stay down for a week. Like, I wonder what would happen. The world would fucking collapse. Twitter would blow up.
I haven't talked to my family in so long.
Twitter did blow up. It was like, hello, literally everyone. And it was like 25 million retweets later. It's like, yeah. Literally everyone. McDonald's replies, can I take your order?
Like it's not working.
I don't know. I like to take 30-day breaks from Facebook personally.
Every once in a while.
Unintentional 30-day breaks that are not given a choice of doing. Yes, I know you love doing
I
that.
forced their hand to give me a vacation.
Yeah.
Last time, I just made fun of Alex Jones. I don't even understand how you can get in trouble doing that.
I don't even. He makes fun of himself by talking most of the
time. I know.
Anyways.
I literally repeated some shit that he said, and that's how I got to understand.
It was kind of funny that you it was. They were all cool. They were all cool with it until you mentioned those amphibians, man, and their sexual preference. That's what really fucking pissed off Facebook.
When you speak the truth, we're probably not getting muted here. I'm just saying, when you speak the truth like that, gets you busted.
It does. It gets you in deep doo-doo, my friend.
I thought it was a joke until I started getting out of the house a little more this year and realized that there's a great swath of, in my experience, women between 25 and 30, 40 years old that are super convinced that they're evil, blood-sucking, children-eating creatures running our country.
There are, though. You didn't know that?
Oh, you are one of them, aren't you?
They're also lizards.
You're the alien.
Yeah.
Wasn't that? And birds are
cameras.
That's why I don't see them at night.
That's methamphetamine, guys. I'm sorry. It must have fallen into your neighborhood.
But if you
it's rampant down here.
If you actually found that kind of fun, we did have a conspiracy theory one, like I think about 3
Go
weeks
for it.
back. You should go back and check that out on the YouTubes. I'm sorry, keep going.
Can I tell you my Bitcoin, the thing that broke my heart, the thing that in 2015, here, I'm going to tell you anyway, because you didn't say no yet. Picked a hobo guy off up on the side of the road. I go, but for not the grace of God, there go I, kind of thing, right? Like, oh, there's this dude on the side of the road. And I'm working in this ranch, and I'm like, hey, you want to come do some day labor? It looks like you're camping on the side of the road. I'm guessing you're homeless. He's like, yeah, I'll come do some work. We get him out there. He works. He's an old timer, slams a hammer. We finish up. We're cooking around a fire pit, and I started telling him about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and the man, right, and how we're gonna take and we're gonna decentralize everything. We're gonna disrupt the government, and cryptocurrency Bitcoin was anonymous and created by an anonymous creator. And he goes, hey man, can I stop you for a second? If it's anonymous, and this is just this like haggard hobo, how do you know it's not the man?
Ooh.
And he messed me up so bad for like weeks. I was like, am I making the wrong decision? Is this 666 mark of the beast? Is this like, am I working for the CIA by promoting Bitcoin? And then I got over it and like paid my bills.
I'm going to say a little bit, but I think that they have their hands in everything.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Say a little bit. Sorry, go ahead.
So that cool thing that happens with the Bitcoin blockchain is that immutable data. So what you can do with immutable data is then take something like Ethereum, which runs on a different chain. Ethereum's not like Bitcoin. Bitcoin's this finite cryptocurrency, really simple system of these hashes and keys and solving of those hashes. It's a proof of work. You have to do math and then prove your work, like back in school, in order to get rewarded. And those rewards reward the miners. Fees are paid to those miners as well, like a little tax to kind of bump you to the front of the line. And so that's the biggest complaint in Bitcoin. If that's the biggest complaint, I'm over it. So I say that all the time. I've been saying that since I figured it out, which was really 2014 when for the first 2 or 3 years, we were just trying to figure out, how do you even freaking explain this?
Yeah.
How do you talk to somebody about this thing that's never existed before?
Without
and there was no real world application.
Fucking crazy. Like I know that when someone first mentioned to me, I'm like, it's fake money. I get it. It's fake money.
There's
money that we're just making
there's
up.
Money on the internet you can just get.
Internet money. It's like gift cards, but on the internet, and they have different values. Like.
And so, what is the difference? What is the difference between a digital Apple and a Bitcoin?
That's actually a good question. I don't know.
There's something. In a I could go on for about 20 minutes on this. I'm gonna try to sum it up.
Well, we have another 30, so you're good to go, man.
We still gotta get to some of the other cryptos too, but let's break this down. Here's
sorry.
Bitcoin and I'm just saying you're freaking. I gotta convert them, man. I'm just trying to. The thing with Bitcoin and the recreation is that it's finite. Every Bitcoin can be traced back to its origin. And so there is not a finite number of apples. And right, you can take a digital apple, like a digital simulation, like a save a file, and trade that file, or maybe make a copy of that file. But since we work on a Byzantine ledger, distributed ledger, where every node is the public node. I'm sorry, honey, I'm here. Honey, I'm home. My daughter is not wanting to go to bed because she hears me trying.
My dog was yelling at me earlier.
Yeah, I wish that was my dog.
My kids are downstairs. They normally just hang out on their devices.
Loud, you just fucking
shoots them.
Zapper. Yeah, she's cute. She can handle it. Yeah, it looked like it. Okay, so all I'm trying to say here about the digital simulation side is that when you have this distributed network, the origination, every Bitcoin can be traced back to its origin, back to its creation. And so in doing that and having a finite number of created Bitcoin, one easy way to look at Bitcoin, even if it's a fad, even if it's just a craze, which the real value is that data, the data that's on the chain, the data that's associated with every transaction. That's why people call Bitcoin a vehicle as an asset, because you can carry items along with that Bitcoin. You can unlock items with that Bitcoin. You can prove who you are without showing an ID, without Social Security, without a bank account, without anything digital. You can just you can send Bitcoin. It's so powerful. You can send Bitcoin to a wallet that doesn't exist, that's within your possession. It's
So
called
like
cold storage.
you can make like separate Bitcoin accounts.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There you go. In there. Just have like
Yeah.
just split
So
it.
So you can like assign someone a wallet?
yes.
Yes.
So there are infinite. Almost, it's a crazy number of to the infinite, to the one, to the whatever.
Yeah.
I can't remember every number. I'm sorry.
You don't have to. We don't fact
of
check
wallet
you. You're
addresses.
good.
Oh, good. Yeah, nobody will do that.
Yeah.
The number of wallet addresses in the beginning, we wouldn't even check anything. We would just generate a random address. And so oftentimes we generate a random address knowing that it can be reached using a specific private key. So you can generate the address without the actual wallet being online and store funds offline for access when you want to bring them online.
Oh.
Yeah.
This concept of cold storage is what makes it, when you hear about, cryptocurrency exchange ABC got hacked for $50 bajillion, it's like, why did they have their cryptocurrency in a hot wallet? So that's old school. That doesn't happen anymore. Now what you hear about, yes, because
I'm
like
assuming,
right now, my phone's on Wi-Fi.
I'm assuming that by doing that makes it so you're not linked to that wallet. It's not a wallet though. It's like that. You said like it's not
The
like a
link
little hotspot
is
that
in
you can put down.
Let me do a better job of explaining. When you have a private key, you can generate a public address.
Okay.
That public address works kind of like an email address. It's called a wallet address, but it's actually, in the most original of terms, it's a public key. You have a private key and you have a public key.
Okay.
When you share your public key, which you can generate unlimited public keys, and you can store balances in each of these public keys, they can associate to your one wallet. What's amazing is you can generate a wallet, take and never bring that wallet online, meaning you just generate the addresses and the private key that belongs to that. You just do the math.
Okay.
So you don't actually apply the math or the password to a wallet.dat file, to a wallet file that touches a computer. Therefore, that Bitcoin gets sent off into over here land that's got a gap between you and the internet.
Okay.
You and being online. It's called cold storage, and it's the only way to store assets. Devices like this are how I monetize my Facebook or monetize a podcast or an ebook, because they have programs that share income, like affiliate and all that sort of those models. And so in the crypto world, I'm much more about, hey, share this product. This product provides security to your asset and your wealth that you're selling your 401k or whatever for. People do all kinds of crazy stuff. My partners and everything, we're all 110% in, 100% in cryptocurrency.
I
say that, but there's bounces in Bitcoin.
Just a quick question. Sorry, I want to throw this out. Were you aware, like, the man who created the first Bitcoin has yet to basically come forward and claim it?
Yeah, that's what we were talking about, that hobo saying, like, if Bitcoin's anonymous, how do you know that it's not the man? And so you look at things in conspiracy, and there's people that say they are this person. The name that we use, the name that may be a part of the puzzle, if you're a conspiracy theorist like me, is Satoshi Nakamoto. And that name is the paper under which it was distributed.
Yeah.
So this paper gets distributed and said, perhaps we do what I just explained to you. Perhaps we run the math, we have the private key. The private key goes through SHA-256 encryption, provides a public wallet key. Public wallet key transacts the ledger data. The ledger data is verified by miners who are solving the hashes for that math to prove that the data is verifiable, mathematically provable, true, verifiable data.
Yeah.
It's like them saying, like, yes, it's there. Like,
it's a checksum. Yes, it's literal math.
That he literally, whoever has created it has not come forward.
That is a little bit weird, but I feel like this kind of thing can't just be created by one person. Like, it has to be more than one person. That's why I don't think anyone is taking a a single like per stand on it because like nothing. Like you can give credit throughout history. That's why that real thing
Can
that
I
we did at the
explain
beginning.
some of this? Like hardcore is Hal Finney. You guys know Hal Finney? You ever heard the name Hal Finney in mathematics? He created eCash. He was one of the first. If there was a single person who created Bitcoin, it was Hal Finney, and he's dead. I would stake. What would I stake? I'd stake 100% of my cryptocurrency wealth on that.
Oh wow!
So you can take me up on that.
I'll take you up on that. I'm guessing he would have died before it would have came into fruition, kind of thing.
No, it's just a couple of years ago. He's an absolute legend, and it like breaks my heart to even talk about it. The influence some of these people, like I gotta give a shout out to like Kim.com, YD Cracker, people like Hal Finney that they've had on my life through these communities that you're talking about. Places like where this newsletter was birthed out of are the places where communities would come together and develop this. So the white paper came out. The white paper described the math. The community built it.
Yeah. Now,
the person leading that community and providing us messages, left us messages and communicated with us on Bitcoin Talk forum, bitcointalk.org, which is like anyhow, I won't get into changes there, but bitcointalk.org is where he communicated with us for the longest time. There hasn't been communication since Hal Finney's death, which is a big, lean in that direction. But also just the people that I have grown to know and understand. It'll be 20 minutes. I'm wrapping up. Okay.
Actually, hey, I'm going to give you a few minutes because I actually have to do something. Just hold on for a second because I make one of these for every episode. I make one of these for every episode, and I know that it's kind of like weird that I'm just throwing this in here, but I put some effort into it, so I'm going to show it.
I find myself wondering what the world must have been like before the bear crashed into our frail planet, transforming all we once knew into a colorful kaleidoscope of delicious chaos, and I love it. The world was more hospitable, no doubt, more orderly, more sensibly sickening because it sounded boring, and I hate being bored.
Pit People, the delightfully eccentric RPG from Behemoth Games. You follow Horatio and his ragtag crew as they make their way through this world. Making and equipping your team is important in this game to help you regulate how you will be able to play it. When playing the game, you will leave this city to venture forth into this crazy mixed-up world. You choose a quest you want to attempt to complete, using items along the way to help you get allies and also some well-deserved rest on the road. Once you choose your quest, you get to search this huge world that's provided, gaining experience for new areas found and a ton of side quests and battles to please your taste buds until you return to the city. Not only do you get fun gameplay, but playful commentary with some fun voices to boot. The battles for this game range from 25 to 45 minutes, so it takes a bit of time. But if you have the right combination of team and tactics, you'll have no problem taking care of business. At the end of the fight, you get your rewards piled upon your chariot. Seeing how your team did in a fight can help you change out loose ends or make the enemy drool at the sight of your power. Before you get the loot, you have to return to town. When you do, this gives you everything from new teammates to some pretty sweet equipment. Also, most of the time you can return quests and get more rewards for that. Not only does it have all this, but is fully co-op accessible, meaning the entire game. You can trade teammates, equipment, and items, take on quests, or just do some battles to level up your team. Either way, this game has a lot to offer. I mean, how many tactical RPGs are split screen? Come on. Pit People is a great time burner with a ton, and I mean a ton of unlockables. And I suggest you get your hands on it if you enjoy tactical RPGs and just plain zaniness. For Pit People and more, go to twitch.tv/shopsclosed.
That that was fun, but we also have to talk about some of our sponsors. TAVOUR, where you can get craft beer sent straight to your door. It's pretty awesome. You can go ahead and download it on the Apple and or Android app. Go ahead and use the promo code ShopsClosed to get $10 after spending $25. And that's a lot of beer, man. And this is like beer from all over the country. It is so fucking cool to get these apps and looking through all this stuff that they have.
Special beer you can't even find in your store.
Man, like you definitely, unless you like live next to a brewery, you're not going to see it. I also have I have a few of these guys, just so you know. Shopsclosed.live, where you can go ahead and help out the show by buying some merchandise or donating to the cause. We appreciate anything that you get on there. Just so you know, a lot of the money, if not all of it, goes to just subscriptions and random crap that goes into making this show just something a little bit more than what it was last week. Okay, and then we also have, make sure you follow us on Facebook at ShopsClosedFB. Just if it's running. If it's up and running, go ahead and check that out. We also have a big shout out to Strange Famous Records for letting us use their music for our intro and outro. StrangeFamousRecords.com for music, merch, and more. They have a new album drop this week. A new artist got put on there. Check them out. Make sure you follow them on Facebook and on Instagram if they're running. We also have a thing for Twitch. If you're not watching us on one of these things, we're watching us. I don't know how you're watching us. Follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/shopsclosed. We have a sub giveaway going on today, and I'm watching out there. I'm going to give those people subs. It looks like Keely and it looks like Matcham are actually probably going to get them. They're the only two people who are actually putting in comments out here. So you guys step it up if you want to get on with free stuff. Yep, that's about all I got. That's all I got.
You swear? You swear? You promise?
I pinky swear, but if you touch me, oh, so help me. No, I'm just joking. Okay. Now, I'm sorry for breaking up your talk. We do have like another 15 minutes to go. Where's some
You're
key
fine.
things
I have a special guest, Ashley Mays, with us.
She's
worked by Bitcoin.
She's
building her new NFT for you guys, okay?
That is...
Sell the artwork.
Well, I bet we didn't sign any like non-disclosure.
Oh, really?
So
well, I'm pretty sure it'll just go 100% to your subscription. I mean, I know how those bills can get outrageous.
Yeah.
All I really wanted to share about that, she was way interested in being part of this.
I could tell.
She should not be quiet. All I really wanted to share with that was you look at something like ransomware, which is a prolific issue in data management, and it's totally solved by Ethereum and Bitcoin. You take something like the patent that we were involved with Acronis, where you take the data that's on a hard drive and you write a smart contract in Ethereum, basically a JavaScript contract that says, if this data and this private key matching the signature of the block, the date and time that this block was last signed by the private key holder, doesn't match, switch the data back. And the blockchain drives that. So it totally makes ransomware 100% eliminated. And we did this in like 2015, 2016. Nobody cares, right? It takes time for these solutions to really get in place. The big companies, the big places do. Acronis is amazing. They're probably a Fortune 100, if not Fortune 500. They're huge. But their patents and stuff like that, and making notary services available to the rest of the world. So you upload a document, you want to have it notarized on the Ethereum blockchain, and assign that Ethereum to a Bitcoin transaction. So you have 2 chains, 2 points. It makes it a legally verifiable document in the notary world. So doing things that I'm talking about that got my heart fired up actually gave me something where I went, okay, what am I good at? What can I do in the world? It's the alignment of what are we supposed to do with our purpose on the planet? And it's like, man, building stuff in the cryptocurrency world that goes on to do things that make a better place, which sounds really hippy dippy. I get it, guys. Like just feeding people. It's huge. I have a webhooking brand.
Almost like leaving a footprint every time that you're doing it, and that footprint's actually making it into like a pathway, which is pretty fucking awesome if you think about it, and like the long short thing. Cryptocurrency is just fucking. It's something new and it's something exciting, and it definitely has a lot of science and math behind it. It also has a lot of skepticism. It also has a lot of faith, but that's like almost every type of currency that's been out there so far.
Well, but it's always going to evolve too. It's always going to keep evolving.
Yeah. The one thing that Brian brought up and I know that you showed us like the mining like setup that you guys had, but there are places that have a lot less restriction on energy usage in the world than we do, which is, I think, where like the main problem of like the overusage of energy.
Well, it's to the point where some states have banned the purchase of any computer with a graphics card.
Yeah, because it could be a bigger toll than what we think it is on something, but that's just a little like that's a hiccup in the road in making something that's gonna last, and nothing comes out perfect when it comes out. Like
what's the alternative system?
Right. Fiat currency.
Just really, what is the alternative system right now? The alternative is the system that you discussed, and it at the level of science and knowledge that we are in the universe and math, we are only limiting ourselves by not taking giant leaps in technology and development. I'm a big believer in the evolution of mankind through cryptocurrency. You look at something silly like computational power. Once we have quantum computing, the mining thing will be irrelevant because quantum computing will destroy that. So we'll have to adjust how we operate. So you take something like the number of pi. When you have quantum computing, you could take any data, this podcast episode, any song in history, any book, anything, and you can apply it to a function of a key plus pi. Yeah. And so all data can exist. It just takes a long time to address that data. And so as we cram ourselves into machines and plug our little brains into hyper-enclosed boxes and send ourselves off to faraway planets outside of our solar system, which is like the next thing that's way beyond the unknown of what we're currently doing, if we make it that far, if we don't burn ourselves up, right? If we don't brush the planet
if we don't, like something else will probably, but
something else will.
Yeah.
And that also speaks to Bitcoin on the gold side. We talk about gold is precious and finite, but really we don't know. We just found a ton of gold in Russia that was hidden from us.
Same with diamonds. They're just kind of more restricted by the people who owns a patent on diamonds, basically. Like they allow diamonds into the market, and
I like how there's those new plasma diamonds. We make our own.
They've been doing that for a long time, though.
I
Brian,
want a plasma diamond. I'm so arrogant. I want to be turned into a plasma diamond and launched into space.
There we go.
Let's go travel.
There you go. Brian, okay, so Brian, you've been like super fucking respectful throughout this whole thing, which is totally weird because it's totally not like how you're on there. But I actually want to give you a few minutes
about Bitcoin. But
I like how he's talking while I'm talking, thinking that he can be heard.
Are we still talking? Are you done now?
Wait. No, give me a moment. I was going to give you the floor, but now I'm not going to. I'm thinking about taking it all back.
Go ahead.
Okay, but go ahead, Brian.
Oh, no.
Go ahead and speak your truths, my man.
Use the big boy words.
That's the thing, man. Like, I didn't want to come into this like a fucking asshole, and hearing from you, it's something you've invested in, and I hope it works out. Personally, again, I have a problem with the energy thing, but also we use our money now to fund wars. So honestly, like arguing which is worse and what to.
I feel like it's not like a which is worse kind of situation. I think it's like more of like, well, how are we gonna run this? Because like the U.S. dollar, I like how I said you can talk and I just take it over. No, like the U.S. dollar was one of the biggest internationally used like pieces of money.
Other countries were even storing it.
But now it's not as big of a thing, and
it's still
the same thing with any kind of currency. So like cryptocurrency can be the same thing. Bitcoin could be the big one.
It's just whatever is the most stable one people will trust the most.
Doge or whatever. Like there's so many different ways that they can bring out this Bitcoin, and the way that they can build like these little economic growths inside of these and losses.
I want to
not everything's going to be a success.
Bitcoin. Sorry, that let's start like hippie communes where we start our own country using Bitcoin, and like just everything goes, man. Like
if we were living in this country during the Civil War time, there was at least 7 to 8 different fucking kinds of currency.
Yeah.
And they were all taken at one point.
They all had
So,
like some sort of counter value
So
to
like
the other currency.
there will be. I feel like there's going to be some kind of like fucking. There's going to be all these cryptocurrencies that are going to come out, and at the end, something is, and I believe it right now. It is like Bitcoin, as I said at the beginning. Bitcoin's the one that everyone's like cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, same thing, and you're like, well, Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. You're right. But, like, it's not the only cryptocurrency.
No, like, I was talking with you earlier. There is one cryptocurrency I stumbled into on accident from a website. It's called Ink that was around for maybe, like, 6 months.
Yeah.
It was there, and then it devalued and went away.
Yeah, so, like, the cryptocurrency, I'm so happy that we got this topic. And I'm going to give, like, Matcham, I'm going to give you, like, another, like, 5 minutes. You cool with, like, 5 minutes? I know it's, like, cutting you short. But you go ahead and give out your 5-minute speech. Then I guess we have to say goodbye. If you want to stick around for the post show, it's something that we don't put on to like the actual thing, but like you can hang out and talk. On you, buddy.
Can you hear me now? Okay, I appreciate that dearly.
No worries.
The few things that you mentioned so far, as I would love to hear what some of the distraction is of Bitcoin, because when we look at something like I'm not just comparing the two systems. There are so many intrinsic values and societal values and applicable values, things that we can put into application in our daily lives, utilizing cryptocurrency as a store of value. Now, you said I've invested. Now, I have owned, tens and tens and tens of thousands of Bitcoin over my career, especially in the early days, is a lot different then. And all of the I'm so losing what I'm really wanting to convey here is that all of the transacting in Bitcoin taught me how it worked and systems around what would work. In our current monetary policies, it doesn't work. People are punished. The people that are punished are in society. We look at our lowest income neighborhoods. I grew up dirt poor. I mean, dirt poor, whatever.
Well, I'm not that
right. And I was hungry for food. I was hungry for friendship. I was embarrassed. And we have so many of these people that are like homeless to CEO or whatever. So that story is weak. I'm like that's not even a factor. The factor is where we are in history right now. Everyone can take advantage of this. And being skeptic allows us to be keen to what could harm us. But approaching that risk and taking action, I am certain it is the greatest thing I've ever done in my life. It gave me the ability to raise my kids on my terms.
Yeah.
Where I can travel. I can pick up my kids. I run a business with several employees. We have 12 staff. We've got dozens of brands in the cryptocurrency market. We have the number one longest running licensed cryptocurrency casino and sports book on the freaking planet. Now, when I look at sports and casinos, is that my purpose on this planet? Is to help degen? Not really. But it's pretty cool that we do it with cryptocurrency, and you can send some Monero and trade it and be untraceable and do all the things that you want to do and play limits and play live games and do it instantly around the world. What I'm more interested in is like applications that we've built that take data. We look at the data that we get, the feedback, the chat here, and we prescribe that data into blockchain systems and then allow that data in plain text and ciphertext, like stuff that we would normally say, well, do I trust Facebook with my email? You don't have to trust them no more. That's what cryptocurrency does. That's what Bitcoin does, is you can have autonomy and privacy and without permission. You don't have to ask the government. What we did previously with dollars is we'd go to the grocery store and we'd say, hey, take this. I need groceries. And the clerk would go, oh, what's this? Oh, I know what this is. I'll put it in the cashier register here because at the end of the week, they're going to give me some of this and I'll go pay my bills with it. Right. The world's changing, and that's where cryptocurrency is today. Since 2014, I don't touch fiat currency. Well, I don't touch it. I mean, businesses do, but we trade it for crypto. We put it on our books as crypto. When I go to the grocery store and I swipe a Visa card, it's a crypto-powered Visa card. It's coming out of balances in crypto. These are services that I support because they're changing how business is done. Visa just filed like 12 different patents yesterday.
I know I just saw that they're coming out with those crazy crypto cards, and like that's what's making me think like maybe I should put them in crypto.
I guarantee it. Okay, my reason for being and putting something in there is all egotistical. It's all self-driven. I look at people like Benjamin Franklin, or we have Elon Musk today, and they've done great things. What's the difference between them and us? What can we do? And how can crypto make that possible? Because Kim.com is the person who told me, dude, it's not money. Money made it possible for me to do this. Stop being an enemy of money. Because I was like, everyone's a sellout and the man's a sellout. And he's like, dude, shut up. Go get some money and go donate it to the food bank if you want to freaking make a difference. And I went, I'm going to go get some money and donate to the food bank. I went down to the food bank. I didn't have any money in my wallet. Right? I gave them like $20 or something. I felt like a champ. I was just like, I don't know if you know, $1 feeds 7 meals. That's like enough for a person in a day. You fed someone. So awesome. Anyhow, the patent side, the applicable side, things that we're solving, problems that we're solving are cool. I monetize a lot of that. I don't want to beat around the bush. I go, okay, well, people do surveys online. I'll build a survey online website and pay people in Bitcoin. Okay, people need web hosting. I'll sell domains and accept Bitcoin. People like t-shirts and swag. I'll sell swag. I'll accept Bitcoin. Okay, people, it doesn't matter. Just every which way, I just said I'll accept Bitcoin. I was the first landscaping company. My daughter's clapping. Yeah. First landscaping company. Give it some love.
Get that claps. Yeah.
First landscaping company to accept Bitcoin, all that kind of stuff. And, it puts us in a position now where my family's in a position where the fear is far diminished by the joy and excitement of the impact we have in this world. I don't care. I fight hardcore against these scams and all this stuff you see. There's proliferation in these crap coins. We look at all tides rise, all ships rise with the tide.
I like how you called them crap coins. No one I've ever heard on the internet has called them crap coins yet. They all said shit coins. All of them.
Yeah, well.
No. Hey, I know you got a kid in your house.
It's not that. It's more. I'm super prude. I don't know. I like to say respectful things.
You're all good. I'm sorry for poking.
No, it doesn't matter. But also, I'm old. I was here before people started calling them shit coins. I was here calling them crap coins before that because it's alliterated and it makes more sense.
Back in my day, we used to call them crap coins.
Yeah, back in my day.
We're the same age. Like I'm saying.
I just love what we do now. I really do think about, 50 years from now, I'm 80-something years old, and some kid tries to pull my card, and I'm like, oh yeah, pull out block 1111 and see me doing my thing, right? Like I used to have it too. Or the first thing I did was write Benjamin Franklin's autobiography onto the blockchain. And that was like my contribution, because when you look at Benjamin Franklin's story, he was an indentured kid, sent to his brothers, all this, carried paper, learned the craft, wrote a paper under Silence Dogood, under a pen name, to start to get his information out there, built societies called Jutos, Leather Apron Clubs, and it's how I built everything that we have now. Because I found a group of people like this, passionate about something. I have a lot to learn from you guys. We just met. But I'm going to find this group and say, let's get us and our 5 other, and a handful of people like us, in his case, librarians and smiths and all that.
I know all kinds of sorts of people. We have all kinds of sorts of topics. I know that like this, you're a little bit past your 5 minutes, but I'm going to let it slide just because you're you.
My man, I appreciate that.
And I was like already thinking, I'm like, we're already like 15 minutes past our normal run time, but we don't have our producers.
It's a special guest day.
We don't have our producers yelling at us. Stop yelling, guys. They're in our ears, and I'm looking over at the booth. It's starting to, like, for real, stop yelling. It's not cool. Anyways,
I am so sorry.
No, we don't really have producers, and I'm really not saying that. But I am gonna actually like probably end this actual show because I don't want to have it go too long, because it's a little bit harder to have people watch it all at one time.
Don't take my word for it. Verify.
No, I very much appreciate you coming in and having your beautiful child on here as well. That was actually, I have to give you props for being like able to keep talking while the baby's sitting there, and you're like,
she's drawing on my head.
She's
drawing on me. It's okay.
And that's all right. You don't need that shirt anyways. Brian, it was awesome having you back on the show. I actually am kind of dumbfounded by how like fucking politely nice you were this whole time. So like calm, to me, so not to our guest because you're normally really cool to guests.
No, I know.
But like to me, exactly, and that's how I feel when you do that to me. Remember that.
Time to you, Mike.
Remember that, Brian. That's how you make me feel sometimes inside. Bronson, thanks for helping us out with helping me out with everything on this thing. That amazing animation that you saw at the beginning was hand drawn by this dude. I do get a lot of people like don't realize how much work actually goes into this. And Bronson, you really do help me get a lot of it done.
Still wait for that first paycheck.
You're gonna get it. Just keep looking in the mailbox behind the other things that are in your mailbox. And then I also want to give a huge shout out to Keyrox. Keyrox, thank you very much for giving us this topic. It was awesome to have you come on here and put in your 2 cents as well. Thank you for being a fan. Thank you for following us and supporting. It's awesome. And everyone out there as well. Thank you very much for watching our show. It genuinely is something that I enjoy doing every week, and I actually wake up on Tuesday thinking like, what am I going to have to learn for next week's episode? And it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. Crypto Podcast 2.0. We will probably hit this topic a few more times, and I hope to get matching in a few more times and keep in touch, of course. But I guess until next time, guys, we're gonna end this one, and we're gonna hit the post show. So.
D-I-Y-M-F-S, do it. D-I-Y-M-F-S, do it. D-I-Y-M-F-S, do it. Do it your motherfucking self. Yo, say you on cue. Yeah, I'm on cue. B, you on cue? Sure, I'm on cue. Yo, say you on cue? I'm always on cue. Watch it. Tell these people what you got to do. You got to wake up early on you motherfuckers. Snatch the prize out the cereal box. You got hustle. Congrats. Everybody yelling facts, but they ain't the same facts, which kind of negates that. Ain't trust it. We pace campaign, can't fade us. The bricks and the walls you hit will still claim us. Strange fame us. Say it so the pain.
Oh, Mike. And that concludes our show for today. Mike's gargling apparently, and he's been holding it in a little too long.
Wait, what's happening right now?
He's using the bathroom.
Is he?
No, I don't think they can hear you.
Private time.
They definitely can't hear that.
Time. Nope, definitely didn't hear him say pee-pee time. Private pee-pee time. Nope.
Definitely not trying to slide the camera under the door. Don't mind me.
His dick right now. You should let him know I can't see his dick.
I'm holding him for ransom.
Oh, you're
5 cryptos. 5 whole cryptos for the photo back.
He's holding his dick up with 5 cryptos. Wait.
Really, Cat? Like, oh, you gotta go pee? Cool.
You didn't call 5 Z's on your seat. That's what happened.
Kitty, I gotta play with some of these.
I gotta put all these fucking toys up, guys.
Why? Who's gonna yell at you? Your mom?
No. Yeah.
I thought you said it was your room.
What a rude thing to say.
No, that'll happen on occasion.
That happens more often than I'd like to admit.
You forget, like, oh, no, I guess not. Not for you.
I was trying to reference your wife, but it came out like stupid, is what it was.
Oh, no, that's...
Your mom is your wife, and your wife is your mom. My mother is my wife, and my wife is my mother.
Keep explaining it. It's way better if you just keep going. No.
My mother is my wife.
You like to fuck your mom, is what I'm trying
and to say. And my wife
boy.
is my mother.
My wife.
Oh, I got so many things I gotta put up. I gotta take them out of boxes.
Brian, for your first show back, what do you think, man?
How you feeling?
Feeling good.
Yeah, by the way, I'm glad that you finally got time out of your busy schedule to join us on our show. You're lucky there was a guest on, otherwise I would have been doing this throughout the whole episode. Look who decided I could join the show again. You quit your big podcast job up in Silicon Valley just to fucking come back to our fucking shitty show.
Be like, listen, I had a bunch of crypto. I spent it all. And now...
I'm not joking about, like, possibly, like, investing a little bit into crypto. I might.
What crypto are you thinking?
For which crypto?
I'd have to do more research, obviously, but, like it
spread, diversify the portfolio?
It most definitely, like, sparks a little bit of interest in me because I kind of like gambling.
Uh-huh.
But I don't like gambling with a large amount of money. So, like, if I just put a little bit of money into crypto, I feel like it's, like, almost like stocks, but
it's like stocks, but then you could take them to the craps table and go all or nothing.
Yep. Or if I was like really hard up on cash, I could just be like, I need to buy this, and I have a fucking Visa card for it.
Yeah.
Well, it's also like a bank account too, but it grows and shrinks while you're not paying attention.
Not touching it. Which could be actually kind of fun. It's almost that's what I'm saying. Like you could have your money that you have, like your bank money or your. And, like, you could have all that shit aside and just fucking, yeah, you know, yeah.
Like, you spend, like, a whole bunch of money, and then you're like, oh, no, I need to pay this bill. And then you're like, I only have 5 bitcoins.
Wild, Brian has NFT. What's NFT mean?
NFT is like a... what the fuck is that?
Keely was telling me about it last time I saw her. It's like selling art as an asset.
Oh, kind of like what he was talking about with the Benjamin Franklin thing, where he like donated that to a block.
Yeah.
Oh, that would actually we are.
I think
in the
Gucci
midst,
Ghost is like the highest right now.
We're in the midst of like working on like a new like type of logo that's still going to be using the Wild Brian. It's kind of in our overlay. I'm just waiting for Bronson to actually draw himself.
You know, just to do more work. You know.
I told you I'll pay you later.
It's behind the you haven't been going.
You haven't been. Yeah, hey, did you check behind the other things that are in your mailbox?
Go past the junk mail.
I feel like you're getting it.
Left at the newspaper.
I've already.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I know you talked about NFT. I just brain fart. I had to pee really bad for like the last 25 minutes of that show. I know we need a Wild Bronson. That's what I'm saying too. Like. But we're gonna do like a Pep Boys logo. I think is what we were thinking about doing, because Bronson has become like one of the fucking hosts of the show because he definitely fucking puts in quite a bit of effort into the show every week. It's fucking amazing.
The host of the show.
One day,
But he also has like taken over like the studio when no one else was here and did the show. But you were there,
like,
Brian.
Hey, Mike.
Like, in spirit.
Just wondering, what's your house code? No reason.
No reason.
And he gave it to me.
The show had to go on.
Then he got kidnapped.
Yeah, I remember that episode. It was fun. We actually had a fucking musical guest on that show. I think that's when we had the Barkers on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. I miss having musical guests on. We should probably do that more often. But I'm afraid that I don't know. I feel like we're doing good by Strange Famous by just keeping it on the intro and outro music and giving them props for it and then promoting their website. But I think it'd be kind of cool to get some more live artists to come on and play again. I really enjoyed that. I wanted to try to get like a metal band to come in here. Like Brian has like a bunch of bands that he knows, but no. Not even the band that he's in.
He keeps them to himself.
Like I tried to get his band to come on here and play, and he's like,
they're too exclusive to show up on your shitty podcast. Jeez.
This is why he was gone for a month, because he keeps on fucking getting better podcast gigs.
Yeah, sorry guys. I just did the whole like fuck, I'm done.
I have to say that our podcast has been growing quite exponentially in the last like few months with production value.
Well,
growing.
The quality has gone way up. I gotta say, you guys are.
What do you think? By the way, what do you think of that history of currency? Kind of.
It was the most ridiculous thing ever. It was great.
Incredibly full of facts, though, right?
Really incredible.
No, for real though, it was like that was actually like I know it said not fact check, but that is a very good breakdown of the history of currency. I did a lot of research, and I could have gave individual like people in history credit for stuff, but that's just dumb because
we wanted to water it down just to make it a little sillier.
Yeah.
Easier to consume.
It was really fun.
I could tell by when you were you thought it was gonna be a lot shorter.
Yeah, we were watching you.
I was watching you the entire time on your camera, as we were watching it, just to see it. Because you said you're oh my god, at first you're laughing and smiling, this is great, and all of a sudden you just saw the face just start to fade.
You lean back,
and then you start really leaning back. And then 2.5 minutes into it, I could tell your attention was just gone. And the whole time he was just I was talking to Bronson, I'm I bet you he's gonna be wow, dude, it's so fucking long.
Dude,
it's so fucking long. It's funny, but it's so fucking long. I've worked with you for so long.
I hope that you guys can see me. That's all I kept thinking was all right, now I'm gonna lay back. I'm gonna just let it take over and listen to it. And then I buried my face because all right, now it's gone off the rails. Jesus Christ, dude.
That was off the rails. That was good. That felt like that was probably one of the best things I've ever come up with.
I slightly disagree with you.
The
last part of it, but I love it. You're no. I nailed it, right?
I nailed it.
Right?
Fuck you. That was 2 takes. That was 2 takes of doing that script and that voice. I nailed it.
You know what? You fucking nailed it.
I fucking nailed it, Brian. No, you don't have to. You don't have to fucking tell me. I know I fucking nailed it.
No, I couldn't tell you didn't. You wouldn't believe me.
Because I fucking nailed it, dog. And I have to say that I'm personally proud because minus the little video game reviews that I've been doing, that's the first actual video segment that we made. Other than the this week kind of thing, an actual video segment, we made something that I was just super pumped about.
And that's what really impressed me was how long it went on for.
I could tell. I was super impressed.
I was just making it just I was well, let's just do this and let's do this. And here's a cool video. Let's add this.
We have a lot of fun ideas for what's to come, and that was made in 3 days, not even.
It was mostly done in one night.
Yeah, one night,
4 hours.
for 4 hours. We didn't, and that was on Saturday. We did this a few days before Monday, and we're gonna start doing that. I'm gonna start doing that more often. I feel like I'm making something like South Park, where they're okay, now we have to come up with something. Go! You got a fucking day and a half. Then next week, we haven't decided, Brian. Do you think next week should be last meals or meals throughout history or food throughout history?
Well, fuck, dude. I mean, they're both.
I know they're both food related.
Shit.
Gotcha.
How would you do one about
gotcha?
Though, that's gotcha. God damn it, you did get me. We would have to just come up with a list of last meals.
No, we would talk about the history of the last meal. There's actually quite a bit of different, people have different ways that they would present their last meals, or the people who they would, and it's not just people on death row. There's people who are dying, and people it's just weird things.
Bring me some snap peas. That's all I want.
Yeah, there's some weird things that people could be but I'm not gonna get into it. Porn is Key Rocks. We're saving that money shot for the very last episode of the month. And I'm going to be using that reference at least 3 or 4 more times in the next month.
Porn? Wait,
history of porn.
That's a topic we got.
History of porn.
Oh, you guys.
And
did you guys know about that stuff? Boy.
Well, yeah, we do. But I'm going to be doing more research on it. So I'm going to tell my girlfriend.
Also, the computer's all weird now.
The FBI might be coming. It was just part of the research.
I swear the dog got on the keyboard and just started typing in these things German Scheiser.
Big boob women.
No, but next week, let's do the history of food next week. And then we will also, in the next 2 weeks, try to get some people out in the comments, trying to stir up some people, talk about, what they would want for their last meal, and see if we can get some people to put it on there, and we can slap that on the show, maybe. I don't know. Good idea.
Question though.
Yes.
Are we poisoning the last meal, or are they dying afterwards?
That might be the reason why it's the last meal, is that it's poison.
There you go.
So then I'll take this. I'll just know never to eat my last meal. Boom, immortal.
If I just never eat again, you can't.
I just started drinking my own piss to keep myself alive. That's totally cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm done talking about that, I suppose. This show has been brought to you by the people who do stuff and things that are things. But I'd seriously, this is going to be the end of this little broadcast, but I have to say, what a fucking awesome show. And thank you, everyone out there who's making this possible. 100% love doing this stuff, and so happy that I get to do it every week. And that's it. That's all I want to say.
Feel good.
Make me feel good. Good night. Good afternoon.
And farewell.
Good day.